Yeah.
Hey everyone, here we are with the last review for a while, coming out of the Toronto International Film Festival. Yes, I know it's been well over a month of me peddling out these videos and trying to get them out to all you guys. And man, it's going to feel nice once this is over with, because it has just been one video after the next, and I will say I appreciate all of your guys' support who have been watching these reviews since I put them out, and all those who have joined along the way. You know, welcome to the fold. I appreciate you guys coming on here and wanting to hear me speak about these films. And yeah, so let's get into this one. The last one I'm going over for a while, and that of course is The Seed of the Sacred Fig, written and directed by Mohammad Rasoulof. This follows a man named Iman, who is an investigating judge in the Revolutionary Court in Tehran, and this basically follows him and his family amidst all these national protests going on and all the violence that's ensuing around them. Then all of a sudden his gun disappears that he was entrusted with by the government, and the paranoia and the distrust begins to grow within this family unit. Now, I heard a lot of buzz about this film coming out at the Cannes Film Festival. I think specifically because of the narrative surrounding writer and director Mohammad Rasoulof having escaped an 8-year prison sentence in Iran just to make a movie that is criticizing the Iranian government and all the atrocities that they are committing on a day-to-day basis. He's truly a hero. I mean, first and foremost, you know, putting yourself out there and presenting your art and not caring what the consequences are, fighting for the freedom of speech is one of the most essential human rights I think we should all be entitled to. And so it's sad that that happened to him, that the Iranian government is cracking down on him, as well as people in the film themselves and crew members, what have you. It is quite a stunning story, to say the least, that he made it to Cannes, got a special award for the film, and that it is getting released all across the world. I mean, this is a huge deal, and I'm really glad that he got this movie out there, because I think it casts a light on a very disturbing issue that's going on in that country, and I think it so perfectly captures the macro sense of what's happening on a very micro scale, you know, getting into the specifics of this family dynamic. And I think for the most part these characters are extremely well written, especially the mother and the daughters. They have so much complexity, especially the character of the mother, because she's kind of torn between both ends, you know, her husband who's a part of the system and constantly perpetuating it, whether that takes a toll on him or not, and also her daughters who are very conscientious about everything that's going on. And I love the way this movie builds, because it really is a slow burn if there ever was one, but you really get invested in their day-to-day routine, the mundanity that's, well, I don't know if I want to say mundanity, but there's definitely more of a low-key atmosphere to the first part of this movie that really builds to some moments of stark violence that just really stand out in contrast. And I think had the approach been any different, I don't know if it would have been as effective when we do get those moments of, you know, really searing brutality. So I really appreciate how this film built, and the screenplay, the direction from Rasoulof. It is very, very well done, and I think a lot of the conversations that are had amongst the family, especially some scenes at the dinner table, are easily some of the most compelling in the whole movie and really strike at the heart of what this story is really about. Now, I know that there's been unanimous praise being thrown at this, because this really was one of my most anticipated films of the entire festival, like top 3 easily. And so once we got to the last half of the movie, I think it does lose steam a little bit. It does build to something, but here's the problem. I don't think the conflicts are well enough explored to the point that some of what happens at the end feels as earned. I'm not saying it comes out of nowhere, but it definitely doesn't feel like we had enough time to sit with the internal conflict that some of these characters are going through, so that emotional payoff can be so believable and rewarding. And I think that's really my biggest issue with this film. And also, another thing that I hate when movies do, especially this one, so these girls are watching, like, footage of what's going on Instagram Reels or whatever, and that's fine enough because, you're getting the information as they're getting it. It's very believable and how it would happen in real life. But then the movie decides to cut in, like, iPhone footage, and why can't we just watch it on Instagram? Like, what's the point of doing this? Now, I will say the scenes that they show are effective in that sense because it is very disturbing to watch these videos, but it inherently is so uncinematic, and I think it zaps out all the other goodwill that's going in around the scene, and then they keep putting them in, like, one right after the next, and then at one point they just randomly throw it in, and it completely derails, like, the editing, and it just felt very awkwardly placed. And so I think that is one of my biggest issues with this movie. Those two things in particular really hold me back from fully embracing this film and saying it's one of the best of the year, because I really don't think it is, but I think it is one of the most important movies of the year, mind you, and I think that everybody should really check this out when it does come out later this year. I mean, is it going to be a big awards player? Well, here's the thing. Instead of Iran submitting this, obviously, because they're not going to do that for international feature, submit a film that makes them look horrible, what ended up happening was Germany, who had some kind of finance and stake in the film, ended up submitting it as their entry into the international feature race. And so I think it will definitely be nominated. I don't think it's really going to get nominated anywhere else, maybe original screenplay, but I think there's so many other movies that are more deserving, and I don't think people are really talking about this film in the same way anymore. As much buzz as it did get from those early Cannes screenings, I just don't think that it has the steam to go all the way. And yes, this is a very well-liked film. I really like this film myself, but I just don't think it quite deserves to be to that level of conversation. But I more than commend Mr. Rasoulof. I mean, what he did here was really nothing short of miraculous. The fact that this movie is getting to be seen, like I said, by everyone across the world who goes out of their way to check it out. So I'm going to give The Seed of the Sacred Fig a 8 out of 10. I really, really did enjoy this movie. At its best moments, it's absolutely exceptional. At its worst, it's just kind of undercooked. And that's what I'll leave this review on. Definitely check it out when it comes out. Very soon, I'm thinking probably by the end of November. And let me know what you thought about the movie down in the comments below. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm really glad that all you guys have tuned in with me all this time, like I said, and I'm very appreciative of that fact. Please stay tuned for that and so much more. I will talk to you guys very soon.